Hello everyone, I'm finally back. Sorry I didn't make a YouTube video for a very long time. I was pretty sick. It's probably the worst I felt in years. At least I lost like 40 pounds, so hopefully I can keep that off. But anyways, the goal of this video is to create a trading bot with Alpaca's API for crypto, for Bitcoin. I'm going to make many videos in great detail about Alpaca's API. So this will be just kind of like a very fast video to create a trading bot. But stay tuned for the very in-depth videos like I did with IB and Sync. So if you Google Alpaca, you'll see you'll get Alpaca Developer First API for stock options and crypto trading. So basically, it's a nice like brokerage with developer first API first brokerage. So you can sign up, create an account, and then it's kind of cool because you have an account. You can have 3 paper trading accounts, which is pretty cool. And you can it's pretty cool. You can test your strategies and that sort of thing. For options, it just goes up to level 2, unfortunately, but I think they'll probably get to level 4 soon. But in this video, we're just going to do a crypto trading bot. So sign up, and then you go to so let's get started. Sorry. So the simplest bot we're going to do is something very simple. We're just going to do if RSI, the 14-period RSI is less than 30, and we have no position, we're going to buy 0.1 Bitcoin. And if RSI 14 is greater than 70, and we have a position, we're going to sell that. So basically, if it's oversold and we have no position, we're going to buy. And if it's overbought and we have a position, we're going to sell. Okay. So let's get started. So first things first, we're going to use their Python SDK. So we do pip install Alpaca API. And to calculate RSI, we're going to use pandas TA because TA lib, the installation is a bit weird if you don't use Anaconda. So anyways, we install those packages. And then we're going to need API keys. So after we sign up, we log in, we go to the dashboard. And what's cool about the dashboard is you see your value of your portfolio. This is a paper account. You see the trades you make. So what's cool is you make a trade, you have an order, you can see it right away. See, I have Bitcoin and AMD. We'll go into this in much more detail, but the interesting thing here is what we're going to do is we're going to, you go to home, and then you get the, you go to API keys. You have endpoint and key, and you can click regenerate. This will also pop you with the API secret. I don't want to click it because it'll ruin the keys I already have. But anyways, you do that, and then what you do is you go back to your Google Colab, and you can do, one second. So you go to this, why is this always in the way? You go to the secret tab, and you copy and paste your keys here. So then you can load them with this command. From Google Colab, import user data.get. So like to load our key, we can do something like this. We do from, I guess my copy didn't work. So it's copy, and then let's do paste. Okay, so we can do something like this. We can do Alpaca API key equals Alpaca API API secret equals user data dot get Alpaca API key. I guess the autocomplete's deciding not to work. API secret, so let's do it old school. Okay, so now we have our API key and secret loaded. Okay. So because we are going to use WebSockets and Asyncio, and Jupyter Notebook and Collab already have an event loop running, we're going to have to use this thing called Nest Asyncio. Bottom line is, let's not get into details. You just need this if you're using any asynchronous programming with Jupyter Notebook. It lets you do nested loops. And by the way, Walt DeWitt, rest in peace, one of the best programmers who wrote IB and Sync, also wrote this library, so shout out to him, rest in peace. So okay, so you do this. So now we can run Asyncio in Jupyter. So now let's initialize the trading client. So we'll do trading client equals trading client API key equals Alpaca API key, secret key is Alpaca API secret. For some reason, it's deciding not to want to do the autocomplete. Okay, so this is our trading client. Okay, so now we have to initialize the crypto data stream, because what are we gonna do is basically we're gonna subscribe to 1 minute real-time bars with WebSockets. So the crypto data stream is what controls that. So we have to initialize that, and then we're gonna subscribe to 1 minute data, and we're gonna give like a callback or a handler whenever a new 1 minute bar arrives, what to do. So let's initialize the crypto data stream. So I can do crypto data stream equals nope, the autocomplete's wrong, equals crypto okay, so like that, and then you do from the autocomplete. You know what? Google Colab doesn't know Alpaca API, so like the autocomplete's pretty bad. So from Alpaca data.live, import. So I know it better than Google Colab. Anyways, okay. So now we have the crypto data stream, and you can stream real time trades, quotes, and 1 minute bars. So let's do that. So when a new bar arrives, you give it an event handler. So basically, it's gonna be like a bar. A bar is gonna be like you're gonna have a bar. What I want to do, big picture, is like you have to define this like event handler, right? So I guess this is a good place to pause for a second and say that if you want my code, I have it in Medium. I'll make this like accessible to you guys, and if I remove it after the video loses viewerships, just send me a message and I'll give you access. But anyways, we're gonna have to basically write an event handler when a new bar arrives, what we do. So that's the goal here. Okay. So and by the way, if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. And I'm gonna make a lot more very in-depth videos on this topic. So it would be nice if you guys if you subscribe. Anyways, and like, of course, it helps a lot. Okay. So anyways, so what we do is we're gonna do something like let's call it the same name. I can just copy and paste this, to be honest, but like let's go through it by heart. So when a new bar arrives, I want a function. So what do I want? I want, first of all, I want a way to store pass bars. So I'm gonna do something like bars equals this. So then every time I get a bar, I'm gonna do first of all, I'll do global bars. And it has to be an async function for the WebSockets, by the way. So I do bars.append bars. So every time I get a bar, I add that bar to the bars, right? So now I have a list of bars, right? And remember, I'm doing a 14 period RSI, right? So that means because RSI calculates like if it was an up day or down day or up bar or down bar, you need at least 15 bars. So I'm gonna do if length of bars less than 15. Oops, sorry. If length of bars less than 15, then I'm gonna do print not enough data because we don't have enough to calculate RSI. And then I'll do continue. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah. If I'm gonna print not enough data. Okay. So otherwise, what are we gonna do? So I'm not gonna go through the code, but I have this like helper function I wrote, which kind of, if you're using IB and sync, would make a lot more sense to you guys. So basically, this helper function is like if you have a list of bars and you do util.df on that bars, you'll get it as a data frame. So kind of like IB and sync. But since bars is like an object that each bar is an object that if you do underscore underscore dict, you get a dictionary of it. So from that list of those dictionaries, I can create a data frame. But we're not going to go into super detail in this video on that. So basically, if you don't have enough data, not enough data for RSI calculation, and then if else, what we're going to do is we're going to create a data frame. So I'll call it df equals util.df bars, and then I'll do RSI value. I'll calculate RSI. So we only need the so let's do from pandas TA import RSI. So we're gonna only need we don't need the length as 14 because that's the default, but let's keep it. RSI value is here. Okay, so we calculate the RSI, right? So now we are gonna also need something called has position, and it's false right now. So I'll do global has position. So now I have the RSI value, but this gives you like this of course gives you a and if you want to save computation, you can do something like tail 15 or something, just to make it faster to not do the RSI for everything because we only need the last value. So I can do like tail 15. And then when I calculate the RSI, I can I can do something like you know what I can do? Yeah, I can do. Let's do it this way. That tail 15, that close, and then we need. It's gonna give you a list. Everything's gonna be nan except the last value. So this will give you the RSI value. The reason I'm doing this is we don't need the RSI of, let's say we're up to 1,000,000 bars. Let's say we're running this bot overnight forever, and we have 1,000,000 bars. We don't want to calculate the RSI for 1,000,000 bars. That'll take forever. So we only need 15 bars to calculate it. So I just took the last 15, the closing price, and then I get a list of RSIs. I do iloc -1. We can get in much more detail on pandas TA. That's not the point of this video. Let's print RSI value. Okay, so now we have the RSI value just as a print, and then let's do this. If RSI value less than 30 has no position, let's say by BTC, and then we'll do L if RSI less than greater than 70 and has position, sell BTC, and then I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna do has position equals true. Because we don't have a position that we're going to buy. And here I'm going to do has position equals false. But you know what? We're missing the actual order. So to make an order, we have to do a market order request. So we do trading client. That's submit order. Wow, Google Collabs sucks for this. So we're going to do market order. Order request symbol equals wow, Google Collab really sucks with this. Symbol equals BTC USD. Quantity equals 0.1. We said. What else do we want? We want let's do side. It's better practice to use their things. Order side dot by. And then time in force you have to do. You can't do day because there is no day in Bitcoin. It's open 24/7. So you do time in force dot GTC. Go to cancel. Quantities 0.1 BTC USD. So let's import these packages. So we do from request market order order side time in force. So this is gonna buy 0.1 Bitcoin, and good to cancel, and I submit order here. Okay, so and then the selling is the opposite basically. Instead of buy, we can do order side dot sell. Again, this video is just meant to be a fast video. We're gonna get into much more detail soon. Okay, so now all we have to do is subscribe to the WebSocket bars and give your event handler a callback. So subscribe to WebSocket bars. We do crypto data stream. That subscribe bars. We give it our callback on new bar. And we give it our symbol or symbol list. This can be a list of symbols. And then we do .run. Oh, .run is the next step. Okay. And this should work. I probably made a mistake, but it should give us like it should give us not enough data. By the way, this is blocking. I can show you in other videos how to make this non-blocking, but it's blocking, so it's annoying because you can't do anything else here. But you can easily make it unblocking. All you have to do actually is do this. They have. I mean, it's not good practice to use their function. Either you use a thread, or you do something like asyncio dot create task, like this. This will be if want non-blocking. My cough is finally gone. Like I have a tiny cough, but okay, so you see I get not enough data for RSI calculation. Okay, so you see it'll keep running. By the way, let's just restart this for a second, and let's actually print how the bars look, so you get an idea. So I'll just do every minute. I'll show you how the bar looks. So I'll do received bar, print bar. So runtime restart session and run all. So anyways, this should go on, and what's cool is like you can see like how you're doing on the dashboard if you bought or sold. That's cool. Also, what's yeah, so you can see buy or sell what you did in the dashboard. Also, just to show you like an output, I ran this earlier. Not enough data, not enough data. RSI is 14, and then I wrote a message: RSI is oversold, buy Bitcoin, and then it keeps calculating RSI every minute. RSI is overbought, sell Bitcoin when it went above 70, and that sort of thing. So that's the expected behavior. So anyways, yeah, so like I'm just showing you how a bar looks. That's why I reran it. Anyways, if you guys enjoy this video, I'm going to make way more of these videos. Please like and subscribe. I also would appreciate some support for the channel. So like, would be happy if people sign up for the membership section. I'm thinking of making a lower price version to get more people. So please leave a comment if that's what you're interested in. And thank you guys so much. Let's just wait for it to at least print one bar. Okay, so this is how a bar looks. You know, you see you have symbol, timestamp, open, high, low, close, volume, trade count, etc. We're going to make a lot better videos. This is just a warm-up to get back in business. Thank you guys.